What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of this year's Road to Glory career mode in FIFA 19. And there has been a lot of comments asking when this was coming, but I decided to wait until we got kind of into a basis in this year's game before releasing it. So here it is, the first episode for you all to enjoy. Didn't really give out a vote. That's because this year I just decided it largely doesn't really matter what team we pick for this one, because my plan is to change around the side so much to the point where we won't even recognize any of the starting players. So we're going to see if that's actually going to happen. And the way we're going to try and do that is by completely using our youth academy. So my plan for this first season by the end of the year is to have no more than the players that I have brought in through transfer fees at the club. The rest of the players should be game-generated players through our youth academy. I realized that in my last two Road to Glories, I didn't really use the youth academy as much as I maybe should have done. So my main focus is to have, by the end of this year, we're not going to worry about where we are in the league or anything like that. It's to try and get as much of a side as we can from our youth academy. So I've got 3 scouts sent to various places that were Scotland, England, and the Republic of Ireland to try and find us players that are going to come through and play a massive part in this Grimsby Town Road to Glory. If anybody's wondering why I picked Grimsby, I have absolutely nothing to give to you. I don't know why we picked Grimsby. I just like the look of their kit when I came into it. I thought, there we go, we're going to pick Grimsby because of their kit. Also, I suppose as well, it's just a different side. They are a 1-star team, which was one of the things I wanted. I wanted to start off with a 1-star team. Not that it makes that much of a difference, because like I said, by the end of the season, we should have a full team here, which are pretty much game-generated players, barring a couple of players that I'm going to sign in this first episode. So, looking at the board, what they want from us this season is to mainly focus on domestic success and financial. I think the financial one might be fairly easy to do because it's to do with players' salary growth. And if we're going to get rid of a lot of players anyway and bring in youth academy players, that one shouldn't be too difficult to do whatsoever. So at this point, I went through and I looked at the full squad of players we had here at the club and pretty much listed every single player that I had the power to do. There's quite a few players, it's their first season here, and of course you can't transfer list them straight away, but there's quite a lot that I went through and I transfer listed. There's a couple on loan as well. And ultimately, by the end of the season, I want all of these players pretty much gone, barring the ones, of course, that I can't sell. Maybe Elliot Embleton as well might stay, but I think he's on loan anyway, so it doesn't really matter in that regards. So yeah, like I said, pretty much everybody in this list won't be having a future here at Grimsby. We want to get as many players from our youth academy involved as much as possible. And before anybody says it, yes, I do know there are other YouTubers that do a series like this where they pretty much just use the youth academy throughout the entirety of their career mode, but that's not what this is going to be. As much as I'm going to try and get myself, players that are into the club who are from our youth academy, I'm not going to call it like a youth career mode or anything like that, because it's still a Road to Glory. I'm still going to use players that I want to use anyway that aren't to do with the youth academy. So I'm going to make a few signings that I want to try and get players in. So it's not just strictly that, but I do want to get quite a lot of the players from our youth academy as well, try and grow them through there. But there are a few players that you'll see I make 2 signings today that I do want to get involved in the team, and both of which I have big plans for. Maybe not necessarily long-term, but certainly in the first few seasons at this club, they will play a mega part. So you'll see the 2 that I decided to bring in, both young English talents. One's 19, I think the other one might be 20. One's a fullback, the other one's a centre-back. If you can guess it from that position, then fair play to you all, because that will be unbelievable if you get the 2 right. Although I do doubt that anybody will be able to guess it. So we're playing our way through the preseason tour. You guys know I've said it before, I'm not interested in this. And so whatever happens in this happens. Money isn't really an issue right now. I feel like we've got enough to be able to make the signings I want. Plus, not having to worry about any other things because we've already made the signings of our youth scouts. Therefore, money is pretty irrelevant after I make my 2 signings. And the 2 that I want are fairly cheap anyway, so we don't need that much money to bring them in. So we got ourselves through to the semis. We ended up losing the semis after I simmed it again. And that's not like the worst thing in the world. Obviously, not too bad to get a little bit more extra into the team. But like I said, largely, it's not really going to be used for us. The one thing I do want to try and do as well, just to let you guys know, is to prevent me getting burnt out and kind of just enjoy this as much as I possibly can. So I decided that we're going to start on Legendary difficulty. There is the Ultimate, of course, I do play with on the Brighton series. The only issue with playing Ultimate at this sort of stage is that League 2 players alone aren't necessarily good enough to even make a pass happen in the first place. So if I'm already having to sweat it out to get a result against Ultimate, in terms of Premier League players, I really don't fancy having that for the next 5 or so seasons. So hopefully you understand why I made the decision to keep this on Legendary just for now anyways, until we kind of go up further. It's just so I have enjoyment. You know, I don't want to, like I said, be sweating it out, having to work really hard to get results on Ultimate difficulty when I just want to enjoy the series, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, we're a few days before our opening game in League 2, and we finally got our first scout report back. So, looking through it, I pretty much signed nearly everybody, barring a couple of players that I just didn't think had a future. So the way I did this was because obviously now we want to get as many as we can, I pretty much had to accept nearly all of the ones that were above age. However, if they had a rating that was less than 50, I didn't sign them, unless their potential was really, really high. Until that moment happened, I literally said, okay, well, I'm not going to sign them. If they're under 50, there's no point me making a signature. You can see right here, this is what our youth squad is currently looking like, and there was a few players ready to be promoted. So I did that. We got, firstly, Shane McNeil, who is a Scottish right winger, and he will play a part this season for definite because he's at 57, 58 rated. And we also got Clark, who I think was a central midfielder from England at 49 rated. The only reason I accepted him is because he's at 49. We'll get to very, very quickly get up to that, 50 rated stage. So McNeil starts in the first game of the series here against Forest Green at home at Blundell Park. And our journey in League 2 was ready to get underway. McNeil, just to add to that as well, does have a potential of 69 to 93, to let you all know. So, like I said, going to play a massive part. But the reason I love lower league football so much is because the unthinkable can happen. The first chance falling for Forest Green, and it was actually meant to be a cross that hit our crossbar. So, like I said, unthinkable can happen. That just shouldn't happen, should it really? McNeil, though, involved in our first move, looking for an attack forward. It came to Hooper, who looked for a curler to the bottom corner, but he put it wide of the bottom corner. So 30 minutes gone here at Blundell Park, and it was still 0-0 in our first League 2 game. And we were just trying to get something going. Like I said, getting used to these players at this sort of level is much different. So many passes go astray, and just having to kind of find your feet again in terms of this one. So after the referee brought it to a close, 90 minutes gone, it was actually unfortunately only the 0-0 draw in our first game. So at least we didn't lose, but I do have to get used to this because playing at this level, chances were very, very few in between. It was difficult to try and break through. The defence was pretty well organised, and just in general, the passing wasn't all there. So Hooper squandering our best chance. Of course, theirs coming from a cross that ended up hitting the woodwork, so can't really say too much about that one. The 0-0 draw was probably a fair result, and I was quite happy to have that go our way. Next up was a visit to Macclesfield Town, and at 72 minutes, the score still was 0-0. So I made a change. We brought on one of our players from the bench, and eventually the difference was made. You're going to see it right here. Robles, who is actually a striker, came on at centre midfield. McNeil picked up the ball on the right, gave it backwards towards Rose. Rose led it back towards McNeil. We were trying to put a cross in, just literally couldn't do it. Eventually get ourselves another throw in. This time I decided, listen, I'm not even going to go down that right-hand side. Let's cut inside. Rose towards Robles. He took a touch, curled it in the top corner, and it was Grimsby Town 1, Macclesfield Town 0 with 15 minutes remaining here. Away from home as well. What a result this would be if we could hold on to this. And I've got to say, I'm just in dreamland right now playing League 2 football. I love it so, so much. You might have seen just before that as well, before we kicked off, Danny Whitaker was the player to watch for Macclesfield Town, who is actually 37 years of age. If that's not golden already, I mean, I don't know what is. It was a carbon copy as well for goal number 2. The exact same scorer, the exact same outcome, the exact same corner. And we won our first game in League 2 on the second time of trying, meaning that we now stand 2 games played, 1 game won, and 1 game drawn with that result against Macclesfield. A 2-0 win away from home, both goals from Robles as well. Unbelievable performance. We then took on MK Dons in the Carabao Cup first round, and I decided to sim it, because to be brutally honest, the chances of us winning this competition are pretty much non-existent. So I'd rather us kind of go out earlier and not have to worry about playing future games. So I decided to sim it, and in the end we actually won by 2-1. Ben Pringle, I think it is, scoring the second one for us. So yeah, it was kind of strange to see that. like I said, the chances of us actually winning this is going to be very, very slim. So I wouldn't even worry about winning that game there because we're going to get knocked out pretty much next time. Anyways, looking at the players who've already left the club, I haven't shown you every single player that we accepted offers for, but there is the full list if you wanted to pause it. Transfer history there, the players that have already left the club here at Grimsby, and I'm sure there'll be more still to happen as well. Following the MK Dons result, we faced Lincoln at home. Again, in the side, we had Clark, one of our youth academy players. We also had McNeil on that right-hand side. So 2 already involved in first 11 action from our youth academy. Still waiting for the rest of them to come through. And then we'll hopefully get a full 11 in terms of that one. Still yet to make a signing as well. So I was looking at this game against Lincoln at home, thinking if we were to draw this or win this, quite a good result. However, Embleton pulled one back late on, and we did actually go on to draw the game at 1 apiece. So at least it's not the defeat, but it's not exactly the win either. So, after that game, we threw McNeil into the training setup. Like I said, the potential of 66 to 93 entices us so much. And without a shadow of a doubt, this kid is going to be one of Scotland's best players, I believe. Anyways, that's my thought process. So, after that, we went into the next game, MK Dons away this time, and it was actually in the league. They were 7th, we were 8th after the first 3 games. We'd won 1, drawn 2, exactly the same as them. But they were ahead in terms of goal difference, and it showed early on because they created a chance in the first 15 minutes and took it very well indeed. Ball through, came onto his right foot, and their number 8 put them 1-0 in front. I think it was Gilby is the man who scored it. So we had to fight back from a 0 down for the first time since we began this here in this first episode. So this is going to be quite a tough one, but I believe we could do it. As we found a player. He found McNeil. I'm not going to try and say it. It's our number 7. Can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try it. But for Scotland, this is a bright sign because McNeil pulled it back on the left foot and curled a delicious shot into the side of the goal to equalise the game up at 1 apiece. It was the confidence of this young man that got me the most. Look at this. Ball roll back inside. See you later. Left foot curler. Goalkeeper no chance. And it was MK Dons 1, Grimsby Town 1. Second half came up. We were looking to go forward again. Thomas towards that number 7 I was speaking about previously. And he curled us 2-1 in front from the edge of the area. You've seen this. We did it last game against Macclesfield with Robles curling in them 2 efforts, and now we've done it again to take the lead. So from 1-0 down to 2-1 up here, away from home as well, it is the dream turnaround. A little bit lucky as well with actually getting through that, because we tried to play a backheel pass that ended up coming back to us. And on another day, they'd have just cleared their lines there, which they weren't able to do. But pressure continued, McNeil causing no ends of issues down this right-hand side, found Robles, and he made it 3-1 to Grimsby. And that was game, set, and match. I apologise, by the way, if I'm butchering his name, but I know, obviously, Joel Robles from Everton, the goalkeeper, that's how you say it. I'm not sure if you say it differently in terms of this guy's name or not. So, yeah, I'm just going to say it. If I butchered it, I apologise. Like I said, 3 minutes of added time added on. The referee played over that as Ben Pringle's shot was deflected through the middle towards Robles, and he got himself his 2nd of the evening, making it 4-1 and completing a magnificent turnaround. He's actually our top scorer at the moment as well, with 4 goals in League 2, 2 against Macclesfield and 2 here tonight. So he is definitely showing why he wants a place in the side. However, if we do get 2 strikers from our youth academy, unfortunately, he'll be making way for the 2 strikers that come through the youth academy. It was time, though, to make our first signing of this series. And there was no one else I looked at apart from this young man, Josh Timon. A young left-back, obviously English, from Stoke City, overall 20, 60 I meant. And he's actually 19 years of age as well. I was quite surprised when we offered them an initial offer of 300k. They came back and said they only wanted 310 with a sell-on fee. My goodness me. So happy to give that. I made a mistake here, though, because when I did this, I accepted a contract length of a year. Didn't mean to do that. I was supposed to have counted that and gone to 2 years, but that was my mistake. So in January, we're probably going to have to up his contract ever so slightly to make him sign a new deal at the club. But 2k a week is what he accepted here at Grimsby, and he becomes our first signing of this series. So a young English left-back at the club, Josh Timon, joins, and he makes his full debut in this game right here. As you can see, 310k, previous team Stoke, and he has signed, will wear the number 5 shirt this season for Grimsby Town. I think that is a massive, massive capture indeed. I just personally feel like Josh Timon is going to be here for quite a while. I'm thinking at least until the Championship, possibly even the Premier League, depending on how his growth will in fact go. So both teams ready for this one. We're on a good kind of spell, I'd say. You know, we had the initial start to the season, 2 wins and 2 draws so far from our opening 4 games is not a bad return whatsoever. But this game was quite tough, and it took right until the last minute for anything to happen, and substitute Embleton laid it on a plate for goal machine Robles to slot in Grimsby's only goal of the game, and it turned out to be the winning goal of the game as well. Notts County 0, Grimsby Town 1, with pretty much the last kick of the game, deflected shot, finding its way to Elliot Embleton. He laid it across, and there, like I said, was our goal machine. 5th of the season for Robles, and he is certainly making a name for himself in this series. Do we get rid of him? Even if I get a youth academy striker, I just can't warrant bringing him out of the side, because he scored 5 now in his opening 5 League 2 games, and that goal there is enough to win us 3 points from the game. So, I mean, his inclusion is justified every step of the way thus far. Next up was another Carabao Cup trip, this time away to Portsmouth, who are currently playing, I think, League 1 football now. So I expected to go, especially away from home. Wasn't worried about the result here, more focusing on the league. We went 1-0 down, Mason scoring inside 17 minutes. And it ended up getting actually even worse for us. Mason getting a second, 36 minutes gone. I believe there was still time as well for them to get another one, as there was quite a few yellow cards. 2 for us, to be in fact. Davis and Josh Timon picking them up. But there was time, as I said, for another goal for Portsmouth, who got it through walks. He got the 3rd, and that was enough to send us out of the Carabao Cup. But like I said earlier, without being harsh, we're not going to win this, so I honestly did not care. The last signing we were going to make of this transfer window was going to be this young man. 6'5", Ross Sykes, 19 years of age, from Accrington Stanley. Again, a similar situation to that of Josh Timon. I think this kid is going to be massive for us right up until the Championship. So again, when Accrington said they only wanted 180k for him, I was happy to make that one happen. Gave him a contract. This time did not make a mistake in only giving him the year contract that he wanted, the similar amount to Josh Timon. This time gave him 2. He accepted that, and we had another player on our hands who I believe was going to be quite good right up until that Championship season, like I said. So, to me, I think the business we've done is fine. I think we've got 2 very good young English talents at the club, and we've also got a bunch of youth academy prospects coming through, because as soon as we got out of this transfer window, that was the final bit of business that we would complete here. We got ourselves another youth squad report. So here we go again. I always get so excited. Now, especially when we're relying on them, it's always good when you get one back. And we got so many quality players here in this particular one. It was quite ridiculous, really. You can see who I'm accepting, who I'm rejecting. And there's quite a few as well that could come straight into the first 11 because they actually had the correct age already. You know, they weren't 15, they were 16 and such. So we went through, accepted quite a few, rejected quite a few, and just in general, made quite a few new signings. There was actually one player in our youth academy that was a Scout Future Star from the Netherlands. He was a striker, and I've got to be honest, in terms of the Scout Future Star, I personally don't think he's actually that good. I looked at it in the long run and tried to decide whether or not he's going to actually have a future. And I mean, at 15 already, he's not terrible, but I just don't think his potential for a Scout Future Star is really that great. When you sign one, you expect it to at least be low ends of 90s. But his is 71 to 87. It's Rodney Jansen. You can see him there, 5'10". I mean, who knows? He can obviously outgrow that potential, so there's no guarantee he's going to stay there. But it's just in terms of that, I was just a little bit, kind of annoyed. Like I said, you expect at least bottom end of 90s for a Scout Future Star. But you can see quite a few new additions to the side then. I think there was about 5 or 6 in total there that we made signings of the players. I realised I didn't show you Clark or McNeil's overall stats. So I'll remember to do that next episode for you all. But you can see right here, going through each individual player. First up, Peterson, CDM from Scotland, can play centre-back, centre defensive midfield, 4-star, 4-star. Very happy to have him here. He's going to play a part, definitely, if not right now, certainly in the future. Then we have Gray, who I believe, again, is from Scotland, CDM, 3-star, 3-star on him. An English left wing, left midfielder in the form of Hughes with a low, but 5-star, weak foot, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to be massive. Definitely going to get involved in some first team action next episode. Alongside that, we had Cox. That is right. Cox. 56 overall. 5'8". Cam centre forward. Again, 4-star, 4-star. he is going to play a part 2. So I'm very, very glad to have these guys here. There was also another one, a cam called Moran, who again I didn't actually show you. So not at the moment. We don't have a full team of kind of youth academy players, but certainly we're getting there. I said by the end of this first season I wanted to have it, and that is still going to be the aim. So we then face Yeovil, Grimsby Town, the home side. McNeil scored after we went 1-0 down. Unfortunately, we ended up losing this 2-1. Zoko scoring both. Throwing Cox and McNeil into the training system to try and get them growing pretty nicely ahead of that one. And you notice as well, we've had quite a few games in the episode. I want to try and get through these seasons a little bit quicker in terms of that one. So I'm going to feature more games per episode, but condense the highlights down a little bit. So you'll still see, obviously, the same length in episodes, but the highlights will be condensed and they'll maybe feature like 5-6 games instead of the usual 3 or 4 that they usually do. So that is what I was going with this one. Shrewsbury up next, away from home again in the Checker Trade Trophy. We could win this, but again, I'm not that interested in the cups because money right now isn't our worry. Money is not what we're about here. What we're about is trying to progress through the leagues while still building a good youth academy at the same time. So we go into the final game of the episode here, guys. Sitting pretty well in the table. We're about 5th at this stage, having won, I believe, is it 3, drawn 2, lost 1 when we took on Bury here. Famously, Jermaine Beckford up front for the home side today. And I was actually very, very happy to see that. I wanted to see how he was going to play against us. But in terms of the way we played, we started off brilliantly. What a ball. This is out wide, by the way, towards McNeil. Puts the low cross in. And inside the first 16 minutes, Thomas put us 1-0 in front. Can't remember if I started Robles for this one. But what a cross that was from McNeil. Getting himself the assist. Like I said, this guy is going to be important for Scotland in the future. And I feel like he's going to be important for us here at Grimsby as well. All you've got to do is look at his first goal for the club and see the quality that he does have, especially in this cross as well. Straight in towards where you want it, and that is the opening goal of the game. Like I said, no Robles in the side today. I can't remember why I actually didn't play him. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe that was a mistake on my part. We went 2-0 up not too long later in the second half as it began. 50 minutes gone. Our number 7 firing underneath the goalkeeper to double our advantage. At this point, it looked certain to get 3 points. Feeling confident, feeling like we were going to go away from this one at least in the top 4. Possibly even in the top 3. You remember as well, if you do watch the English setup of football lower leagues, there is 3 teams that can fight for automatic promotion out of League 2 instead of the usual 2 that you see. Obviously, there is the playoffs in there as well. So potential for 4 teams to go up out of League 2. 3 of them through the automatic promotion. So all we need to do is get in the top 3 and we will be up in terms of automatic promotion in towards League 1. Unfortunately, though, the 2-0 lead quickly became 2-1 as Jermaine Beckford struck to pull Bury back in the game. And then the 2-1 became 2-2 as Nicky Maynard headed the home side back into the game at 2 apiece. I was stunned. And I do know about Nicky Maynard because I used to use him on FIFA 13 Ultimate Team to really annoy my friends with my silver side. So from 2-0 to 2-2. But we were back in front not too long later after, again, our number 7 fired in for his second of the match to make it 3-2. Very much like the same scenario that we were in currently. We were throwing away a 2-0 lead to make it back to 2-2. We'd gone 3-2 up before throwing it away again because Nicky Maynard, don't know what they're putting his Weetabix in the morning, but certainly something because again, he leapt like a salmon to put them back in this one to 3-3. Unbelievable header again. So, amazingly, there'd been 6 goals here against Bury and both sides had got 3 apiece. Yeah. Don't really know what to feel about that one. Another great header, though. We brought on Robles with about 3 minutes to play. Surely he's not going to come on and get a winner. Nope. That wasn't meant to be. So, to end off today's first episode of the Road to Glory Career Mode, we'd signed 6 or 7 new Youth Academy prospects, but we'd ended off with a 3-3 draw against Bury, which is absolutely crazy. So anyways, that puts us 5th after the first 7 games of the league. 3 wins, 3 draws, and a single defeat. We will open next game's episode against Oldham off. If you have enjoyed the first episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. Hopefully you liked today's episode as well, in terms of how it was presented to you all. Until next time, though, thank you so much for watching. If you are new around here and like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Alongside that should be a notification bell, so you can click that and make sure you get notified whenever a new video goes live. So if you don't want to miss an episode in the series, make sure you have the notification bell turned on. And until next time, guys, see you all for episode 2 very, very soon. Catch you all again. Adios.